This is an AccuWeather Alert from Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And good evening from the AccuWeather Center. I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Thanks so much for clicking on ABC7 NY for your latest weather information. And we're in a transition time with this event where we're changing over to snow, starting to see some flakes in New York City. We have some big snow totals to report as we go through parts of the Catskills, and some of these snow reports just coming in. And here's a little sampling. Now check this out. Northwest New Jersey, closing in on 4 inches in Wantage. In Fishkill, nearly 4 inches in Dutchess County, and then just blowing everything else away in the Catskills here, Ellenville at 10 inches of snow. So that's the jackpot total so far. Really been snowing all day and kind of in the sweet spot of some of the steadiest snows. Meanwhile, in New York City, not a stitch of snow. I mean, maybe some snowflakes are starting to mix in, and we had a few snowflakes early in the morning, but no accumulation. We have dropped below 40, so temperatures have started their fall, and the winds have started to shift. We had a southeast wind earlier, so that's now gone over to more of a westerly wind. And even temperatures like Montclair at 34, which popped up to 39 this evening, temperatures are starting to fall now from northwest to southeast. So we're going to start to see our freeze kick in as we go through late night and during the overnight. Already below freezing, of course, in Sussex and Monticello and Poughkeepsie, and we never got the milder air to get up here into the Catskills and parts of the mid-Hudson Valley and northwest New Jersey. All right, so the first of two fronts coming through. The first one changing this rain over to snow, enhancing some of the snow as it leaves us after midnight. And then the second wave. Now notice the temperatures are dropping into the 20s behind the first front. But behind the second front, and I know we've been hearing a lot about the Midwest, Chicago's actual temperature is 2 below right now, and Minneapolis is down to 21 below. Now check out the wind chills out there right now, 25 to 50 below here across parts of the upper Midwest. And these type of numbers attainable in our far northwest suburbs by the time we get into Thursday morning. All right, let's get into the radar right now. You can see rain, Connecticut coast, Long Island, down the shore, but now the rain snow line getting into New York City. So let's trace that here. First, we go down the shore, and you see while it's raining in Toms River, even though there's kind of a little bit of a hole in the radar echoes here over Jackson and Northern Ocean, we've got some snow over parts of 195 Manalapan back to Chesterfield. We go to the north. There's some snowflakes mixing in when the precipitation gets a little steady over parts of Long Island. Near Prince's Bay, over New York Harbor, a couple of snowflakes here, a little steadier snow near Irvington, and Parsippany is breaking out into a little bit of snow. Same thing happening over Rockland County right now. So that's going right across 287 to the Tappan Zee, headed toward Tarrytown. The steadiest snow on the board is over Putnam County into Dutchess County really right now, from Poughkeepsie up to Kingston. That's not a pleasant ride up the thruway right now, and the snow's coming down pretty heavily. But the other thing to notice is we're getting the changeover, but as the changeover is coming in, the precipitation is coming to an end across the far western suburbs. So there's a very small window for any accumulating snow from the city on east. We could very well just end up with a trace or maybe some coating on colder surfaces, but still the wetness will freeze overnight. On our AccuTrack, we can look at the snow rates, and you see these areas of pink. Now, this one's not too far from the town of Wallkill. That's about a ½ inch an hour, and Marcus Solis was up there earlier, and that's several inches of snow. Remember I talked about Poughkeepsie up to Kingston? So we're snowing there at about a ½ inch an hour, and some of the snowfall rates, ½ inch an hour, starting to get into Passaic County, northern Morris, northern Westchester, and also into northern Fairfield County right now. Before I get to the Futurecast, Sarah in Digital is here with me right now, and you have a couple of questions?
Yeah, so actually we're getting a lot of reports of where people are saying they're getting a ton of snow.
Okay.
So, like you just said, Poughkeepsie, Andrew says Poughkeepsie is getting hammered.
Okay.
And then, where was it? Middletown?
Middletown, so that's in Orange County. So
Hammered.
Poughkeepsie, Middletown, Orange County.
It's still snowing in Carmel.
Okay, so that's in Putnam County. And you were saying you're already starting to get some school delays.
Yeah.
Where are they coming out
A
of?
lot of delays. The list is long right now. There's some actually, Ty has them up on the screen right now.
Oh, okay,
below
great.
You.
Oh, there they are, in the lower third.
Do you see them?
Yeah, although I need my
let's
glasses.
see.
Hold on. Let me see where some of those are coming out of right now. Okay, so Pride Academy, so that's in Essex County. Okay, so parts of New Jersey getting delays there. So not surprised there, Boonton. I mean, the precipitation is ending here between about 10 o'clock and 2 a.m. And that may be enough time for crews to jump on this, but in areas that got significant snowfall, there still will be a lot of areas of ice around, and even where it's just wet overnight, with temperatures falling down about 23 in the city tonight, we'll have some icy patches. So I'm not going to be surprised, especially north and west, if we have some widespread delays here. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, were we just talking about New Jersey, or were we talking about
You were talking about Westchester? And
Westchester? Okay, so there's a lot coming in New Jersey.
Okay.
In Passaic, and Morris, and Warren, Sussex. There's already, I'd say, at least a couple dozen.
Okay, so very easy to find out if your school has already posted some delays if you haven't gotten the call at home. Lower third of your screen right here, or you can go on ABC7NY, and I'll also tweet out a link and put it on Facebook as well. All right, so looking at the Futurecast, you see right now we're in that transition time over the next hour or two in New York City as we go over to snow for a very short time. But basically, that window for seeing snow in New York City maybe is until about 11:30, maybe midnight latest over Queens, and then it starts pushing east. It can be snowing over Long Island around midnight to maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, and then it's moving offshore. And even at that point, our temperatures are just falling below freezing here, but notice off to the north and west, well below freezing. So by morning, it's cold. There's patches of black ice. Temperatures are starting the day in the teens and 20s. We'll get back to what will be a very volatile day tomorrow. Basically, a lot of this has already fallen across the area. We're tacking on some totals here to the north and west. And the subtle change I just made to the snowfall map, instead of calling it a coating to an inch, I called it a trace to an inch, because we could very well just see this transition happening with temperatures still hovering around 40 degrees. We may not just see any snow stick here, city and coast. I mean, maybe there's a little burst of snow as a wave of low pressure is departing where we deposit some coatings over the island. But basically, little to no accumulation, is just worried about some icy patches tomorrow morning. Off to the north and west, the nearby northwest suburbs have put down 1 to 3 inches. We talked about the 3 to 6 inches northwest New Jersey, into parts of Orange County and southern Dutchess, and then that jackpot. This forecast worked out pretty well, where we have over 6 inches of snow in parts of the Catskills. Go ahead.
You mentioned icy patches. Robin is asking, how icy will the 5 boroughs be tomorrow morning for the commute?
I don't think you're talking about like a skating rink around the area, because we're going to have a window between when the precipitation ends and then the temperatures fall. But we probably will see the streets dry out a little bit, and I'm sure the city is probably doing some treatments as well. I think you have to watch out in some sidewalks, some ice patches. You can't get it all, so there will be icy spots. I'm not expecting any delays with New York Public Schools or anything like that, but just watch your step. You know, coming out of the subway steps, just watch your step. There may be some icy conditions there. There's a second opportunity as we go through the afternoon hours for re-icing to develop again. I'm going to get into that as we go through the day tomorrow. But here's what you need to know here. We've got a change to snow here in all areas over the next few hours, but the snow is also winding down between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. A rapid freeze will follow, and then tomorrow it's that very tricky day where, you know, the first part of the day, we got the icy patches early. It's getting windy. We actually pop up to 25 to 30 during the day. By midday, we're still hovering around 30, and then the second Arctic front comes in. Remember the one I showed you that's producing the wind chills of 25 below in Chicago? As that comes through, there can be some snow squalls. It's a quick 10, 15-minute burst of snow. Some areas will just see some flurries or snow showers, but other areas will get into a heavy burst of snow where the visibility goes down quickly. We can deposit a small accumulation of snow and then roads ice over, because the temperatures will go from around 30-ish around midday to probably 15 by 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and wind chills will be falling sub-zero at that point. So I want to change this sequence and get back to that. But go ahead, Sarah, while I'm adjusting that. You can go ahead and ask questions.
A couple questions in about air travel. Do we think airports will be impacted overnight and tomorrow?
Well, the major airports will probably be okay. They'll have to do some de-icing in the morning, but I think it will be okay. Should be just minor delays in the morning. I think as the winds kick up, like I could see a period where if those squalls come through, where we get some brief ground stops and have some big delays as we go through the afternoon. The window for those snow squalls are 1 p.m. west and like 5 p.m. on the east end of the island. So figure around New York City, it's around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon hours. So that's when things could get. It's almost like watching a line of gusty thunderstorms coming through in the summer. So I want to get that Futurecast here. I don't know where I put it. Let's see. Go ahead, Sarah.
Just a lot of comments. It is still snowing in a lot of places. Cheryl says.
Yep.
Still snowing in the Catskills. Is it spring yet? Ugh.
Okay, here it is. So this is the depiction. You don't see this very often. You see this a lot upstate, but you don't see it coming down to the coastal plain a lot. But This second Arctic front means business, and around 1:30, it's getting to the Delaware Water Gap, it's working through the Catskills, and a lot of time with the Futurecast. It has a good handle on it, but sometimes the timestamp, you might say 1:30, may actually end up verifying more like 12:45, 1 o'clock. So just figure, once we get past lunchtime, you got to keep an eye to the sky. The winds will start to kick up, and it's probably right over New York City. Maybe it's in the 2 o'clock to around 3 o'clock hour, right up the Hudson River. It's going to be brief, but you'll certainly notice it because the winds will kick up and we'll get that burst of snow. And then it'll go over Long Island between 3 and 5 p.m. and then it'll be offshore. And notice, I mean, so there's your 5 o'clock temperatures, teens, single digits well north and west, 23 in the park, but just like a couple hours later, we're dropping through the teens and the wind chills are falling below 0. So very dramatic change. You know, tonight is a refreeze, but tomorrow it's much more dramatic during the afternoon hours. Go ahead.
Super Bowl, Miriam says, Super Bowl Sunday is my birthday. How's the weather for Sunday?
First of all, early happy birthday. Second of all, we have a really nice recovery. The worst of this is through the day on Thursday. Not that Friday's any picnic, but it's back in the low 20s. Once we go over the weekend, it's actually, we were talking about it in the forecast, kind of keeping up with the warm-up over the weekend because it looks like a pretty healthy recovery where we get above freezing by Saturday, which will already feel not as harsh. And by Sunday, we should be well up into the 40s. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 50-degree temperature by Monday and Tuesday. So Sunday looks like a good day. I think we're dry during the daylight hours. There may be some rain at night, but right now it looks like we'll warm up nicely at that point. I did want to show you, I want to show you a snapshot of winds here during the afternoon hours. And this may be a little overdone, but you can see that as that second Arctic front comes through, these winds are going to be howling over 40 miles an hour, some of these gusts. So these winds can get very strong, very dangerous when you're on the roadways because it's going to be very sudden as it comes in. Again, sort of like a line of summertime thunderstorms. And then it will move through and the winds will change direction and, you know, back off a little bit, but still howl pretty good into the evening hours and a very cold wind as these temperatures fall below freezing. Here are the wind chills by Thursday morning. All right, so you're looking at basically, I would say we're probably somewhere around 10 to 15 below across the 5 boroughs, nearby northwest suburbs, 15 to 20 below, you know, as low as 20 to 30 below north and west of I-287. I mean, that's bitterly cold. That's 15 to 30 minutes of frostbite with exposure. So just be super careful once we get to late tomorrow night and into Thursday morning. Any other questions, Sarah?
Carlos wants to know when he can build a snowman this winter. I'm not sure where Carlos is, but I think he's asking, are there any chances, big chances of snow?
Take a drive up to Ellenville. You got 10 inches of snow up there tonight. So there's plenty of snow for skiing and snowman making up there. Listen, it is. You know, we're getting these cold shots. We're not getting. It's not linking up at the right time. It's not synced with the coastal storms right now. We're sort of in this pattern where we're getting these Clipper systems and these Arctic fronts rather than coastal systems. And I don't see anything really sizable in terms of snow on the horizon. We certainly have a moderating trend as we go into next week. So a bit of a snow drought right now, but it's still plenty of time. Remember, you know, climatologically, if we're going to get a big snowstorm, you know, we're going into those first 2 weeks of February. That's typically when it's going to happen around the area. So we still got lots of opportunity between then, and I like to look through like March 15th to 20th as that window to get these big storms. And of course, you know, in recent years we've gotten some light snows even into early April, but still plenty of time for that. Okay. All right, so that's the way we're shaping up. I want to end up with the 7-day AccuWeather forecast. We've got 2 AccuWeather Alert days, obviously. That 30 kind of misleading. We're hovering there through the middle of the day, and then temperatures are tanking during the afternoon. Watch out for those heavy snow showers or squalls during the afternoon hours, down to 5 tomorrow night. So that's our coldest number. Remember the brutal wind chills on Thursday morning, only up to 16 during the day despite sunshine. Might be some afternoon snow showers, mainly over central and southern New Jersey on Friday afternoon, about 23. Up to 34 on Saturday, so freezing feels good, and then the recovery continues on Sunday. Even though it's a chance of rain, we're up near 50 as we go into early next week. All right, so that changeover continues to happen this evening. And the snow should end between about 10 o'clock and 2 a.m. A full update coming up on Eyewitness News at 11. If any more snow reports and school delays come in, we'll pass them along on ABC7NY or all my social media accounts. Thanks again for clicking on ABC7NY. If you don't have the Channel 7 app or the AccuWeather app, which comes in really handy in situations like this, whether you want a radar or a Futurecast, it's easily accessible. Just go to the Apple Store or the Google Store, and you can certainly get that app very easily. We'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock. Thanks for clicking on ABC7NY.